Alright, what's going on everyone? Mr. Rage22 coming at you guys with a new video. Hope you guys are all doing well. So anyways guys, we got a quite a long video coming for you guys today. This is going to be a kind of a different video, but this is one I've been wanting to make for a while. So anyways guys, as you know, the Nintendo Switch has a very good amount of horror games to play. There's lots of good ones, couple of indie ones, some good, some bad. But more specifically, these games that I'm about to talk about, these are a couple of games, horror games, that have not come on the Nintendo Switch, and I'll be talking about some of those games and why I believe that these games need to come to Nintendo Switch. So we're going to be looking at 5 specific horror games, and we're going to be talking about them. I will give you guys a little bit of information about them, and I will also be leaving a link in the comment section for each of these games' trailers, so that way you can check them out for yourselves. But anyways, guys, the first game that we are going to be talking about is Home Sweet Home. Now, this game is actually, or this franchise, I'd say, is actually getting quite popular because the developers actually just made something called Home Sweet Home Survival, or Home Sweet Home Survive, which is basically a multiplayer version of the game, which is very similar to Dead by Daylight. But more specifically, the first game in the series, which was basically just a game called Home Sweet Home, it was a survival horror game. It came out for PC, I think, in like 2017, and it eventually came out for Xbox One and PS4 in 2018 of October, I believe. But it's basically a really, really good game. It is a survival horror game, and the game is based on Thailand myths, I believe, or something like that. But it's a very good game. It's a very good survival horror game. I played it a bunch of times on Xbox One, and I also played it recently on the PS5, on my brand new PS5. And I really liked it. I liked it just as much as I did when I first played it, actually. And I was just wondering, why was this game not on Switch? So I've done a little research, and apparently the developers did say that they would be making a Nintendo Switch port of the game, but it's 2021, and I'm still not seeing any port or Nintendo Switch version of the game, and I find this extremely disappointing because it's a really good horror game. I mean, if you guys would like to check it out, but by all means check it out. Maybe you guys have even played the game yourselves, but it's a really good game. The game actually gave me mild PTSD actually because spoiler alert if you don't know, there's just like this Japanese ghost girl that's always chasing you in the game, and like when she spots you, like she has this horrifying shriek and she'll start chasing you. That actually gave me mild PTSD for a while. So if it could do that to me, then I'd say this is a very unique horror game because it takes a lot to scare me. But anyways, guys, that's the first game on our list. Be sure to check it out on Google or YouTube. I will definitely be leaving a link so that way you can check out the trailer along with some gameplay clips for the game. But anyways, let's get on to game number 2, and that is going to be Visage. So, Visage was a psychological horror game, very PT inspired. It came out recently in 2021, actually. I mean, in 2020. It came out in 2020 of October, but the game was on Kickstarter for a while. And the game is basically identical to PT. It's basically the PT that we've always wanted. And it's actually a very, very good game. I've seen reviews on the Xbox Store, and it literally has a 5-star on there. And I've also seen some YouTubers talk about it, and I haven't seen any criticism of the game so far. So this is a very good game. But unfortunately, just like Home Sweet Home, the game was only for Xbox, PS4, and PC, and the game is not on Nintendo Switch. Now, this one, it's actually kind of, I have quite a few things to say about this one because the game has very good graphics. I believe it also runs at like 60 FPS on Series X and PS5. So I guess I can understand why this one is not on Nintendo Switch because, you know, the graphics are so good and the game has really good frame rate. And yeah, I could definitely see that. It'd be quite difficult to get it to run on a Nintendo Switch. But if the developers did try hard enough, I'm more than sure that they could have got the game running on Switch. I mean, if the developers did try hard enough. Sad Square Studio, they are an indie company, and they were on Kickstarter for so long, so they definitely probably wouldn't have the resources or the money to make a port like that for Switch. But if they did have the resources to do so, then they should definitely make a Nintendo Switch version of the game because this is an insanely good horror game, and they wanted everyone to experience their game because that's why they brought it to console in the first place. So by choosing to only put it for PS4 and Xbox, they're just like they're not letting everyone experience their game, and that kind of defeats the purpose of it. Because the Nintendo Switch is an extremely fast selling console, so like if they were to put their game on the Switch, then they'll just be making so much more money. Alright guys, so game number 3 is Layers of Fear 2 by Blooper Team. So, strangely enough, Blooper Team have actually put all of their games on the Nintendo Switch. They have put Layers of Fear, the first Layers of Fear, they've put Observer, an extremely good horror game, and Blair Witch on Nintendo Switch. So they have pretty much all their games on Switch. Except for the recent one that just came out for Xbox, but that is an Xbox exclusive, so yeah. But Layers of Fear 2 has actually not come out for Switch yet. And I looked at some articles, and they basically said that they're going to wait to see how the game does before they put it on Switch. Strangely enough, the first Layers of Fear game also took a while to come to the Nintendo Switch. So, yeah, I guess maybe they're doing the same thing, but the game came out in 2019, I believe, so the game is still actually quite new, actually. It's not that old. So, I do still have hope for this one. I still do believe that this will eventually come to Switch, but if not, then I gotta say, Blooper Team, that's extremely disappointing because Layers of Fear 2 is a good game. It's basically a psychological horror game. It's like the first Layers of Fear, but it takes place on a ship or something. So, yeah, but still, the fact that it is not on Switch yet, even though it is 2021, I do find that worrisome. I mean, maybe it's because Blooper Team is still busy with their new horror game that they just made, so, I mean, yeah, I guess I could see that. I mean, they still have to focus on their new game because, you know, why not? I mean, why focus on an old game? But, like, I just hope in the future we do eventually get a Layers of Fear 2 Nintendo Switch port because if not, that would be extremely disappointing. Also, Tommy, I just found him really quick. Tommy's an idiot. Okay, guys. So, the next game that we are going to be talking about is The Evil Within. So, unfortunately, this is one that I don't see would be coming to Switch, and the reason for that is because Bethesda is now unfortunately owned by Microsoft, and since The Evil Within is not a recent game of Bethesda, I honestly don't believe this will ever come on Switch. I'm not saying that it's Microsoft's fault, but I mean, I'm not sure if they were ever going to put the game on Switch in the first place, but I do know that Bethesda did put a lot of their games on Switch, including Doom, Wolfenstein, etc., etc. So I don't see why The Evil Within wouldn't have came to Switch, but now that they are owned by Microsoft, I don't believe that's ever going to happen. So yeah, I guess that's one of the unfortunate aspects of Microsoft purchasing Bethesda, because now some of Bethesda's old games like The Evil Within will not be coming to Switch, and that is extremely disappointing. But The Evil Within was an insanely good horror game, especially the second one. And I'm talking about both the first one and the second one. I want both of these on Switch, but yeah, now that Microsoft fully owns Bethesda, I don't see this ever coming to Switch, unfortunately. And it really is unfortunate because this was an insanely good horror game, The Evil Within. So the fact that that's not going to be on Switch all because of Microsoft, yeah, that's very, very disappointing, you guys. So, anyways, guys, the next game on our list is going to be the Silent Hill franchise. Now, everyone knows what Silent Hill is. If you're a horror fan, then you should already know what this is. And if you don't know what Silent Hill is, then how can you even consider yourself a horror fan? All right, if you're a horror fan and you don't know what Silent Hill is, you need to see that immediately. But Silent Hill, yeah, Konami, the creators of Silent Hill, they haven't been active for quite a while. I mean, I think they gave like a couple of their games a couple of updates. I'm not sure. But they haven't made a game in quite a while. There's even rumors that a new Silent Hill game is coming exclusively for the PS5. But what I would have liked to see for the Switch would be like a Silent Hill collection or something like that. I mean, kind of like a HD remake or I mean a port basically. But being able to play Silent Hill on a Nintendo Switch would be a literal dream come true for me because I played a lot of Silent Hill on my Xbox, and I think it's probably one of those classic, like it's one of those classics basically. So, and the fact that it is not on Switch, again, very, very unfortunate. What these developers are doing, like, it really angers me because, one, by not putting these games on the Switch, you're just losing more money. Like, if you put the game on Switch, then you're going to be making way more money by putting it on the Switch. And, like, the Switch is an extremely fast-selling console, so there's plenty of people to buy the game on the console. So if you were to put the game on Switch, then you would probably be making more money than you spent on putting the game on Switch in the first place. So the fact that these developers have not put these games on Switch, I just find that extremely disappointing. So, yeah. But anyways, guys, there you go. Those were my top 5 horror games that should come to Switch. Now, I would like to inform you guys that I will be making a sequel to this. I will be making a part 2 because there are plenty of other horror games that have still not come on Nintendo Switch that I already know about. I just didn't want this video to be too long because I am running out of storage on my phone, so I didn't want to make this video too long. But yeah, guys, a sequel will be coming very, very soon. I just need some time, and I also need to do a little bit more research because I want to make sure that these games are not already confirmed to be on Switch because maybe the developers are just taking a little time. But yeah, guys, anyways, thank you so very much for watching. Let me know what you think. Which horror games do you want to see on Switch, and what did you think of my video? Be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe. This was Mr. Rage 22 signing off. Bye-bye, guys.